First of all, please subscribe to our page for more audiobooks. Thank you. How to Be Free by Joe Blow. Chapter 13. Sexual Fixations. As children, we naturally were interested in finding out what feels good. Even fetuses in the womb often discover the pleasure of masturbation, but sometimes these forms of exploration would bring a negative response from adults. If we got the message that some aspect of our behavior was unacceptable, we might become fixated on it and carry this fixation into adult life. For example, a little boy who wanted to see whether it felt good to put on his sister's dress and panties might meet with the censure of his parents and feel that he was unacceptable because he had carried out this experiment. Like a sore tooth that we can't seem to stop poking with our tongue, the memory of rejection keeps us going back and reenacting the moment, preferably in some context in which we can feel accepted. So the little boy, now a transvestite, will dress up as a woman in a community with others who do likewise, basking in a mutual show of acceptance of that which deep down they still do not fully accept. Where this must be a particularly difficult problem is where the fixation is on something which can be genuinely destructive and thus carries a social taboo which is not merely intolerance of difference. Such is the case with pedophilia. It is normal for a child to feel an erotic attraction to other children, but if we fixate on this kind of attraction in a way which causes us to carry it into adulthood, then it becomes a serious problem, especially if we act on these feelings and, as a result, harm children. Even in such a case, the principle still applies that the past cannot be changed and that the thoughts and emotions are, in themselves, morally neutral, but the individual could not use the argument, as with the transvestite, that acting on the desire was harmless. Luckily, for most of us, if we find ourselves fixated on something, it is something far easier for us to learn to accept and thus move on from. This shouldn't be taken as meaning that sexual fetishes are necessarily a bad thing, only that they are a limiting thing. There are advantages in being able to enjoy a wider range of sexual experiences,